struggled when the team have struggled, but now that they're doing well, now that he's got a manager who's got faith in him, who has, as he said, changed the culture at the club, he's someone who's reaping the benefits.
He looks healthy as well, doesn't he? I mean, straight after a game, obviously they're very professional and getting prepared. There was no late nights last night, no drinking, you know, no celebrating. Let's get back to work, and they look like they're enjoying the environment. You know, they're at Carrington every single day. They're enjoying what the manager's got to tell them, and they're reaping the rewards on the pitch. You know, the results are coming. It's easy for a manager to send his message once you start picking up results. Yeah. He's getting the best out of the group. It's not a team full of superstars. He got rid of 2 superstars, so I think was key. You know, Pogba and Ronaldo, and I loved them as players. I really did. I thought they were 2 of the best players we've ever seen in the Premier League, but probably didn't fit into his system. You know, he brought in players, good types. Someone like Christian Eriksen. Weghorst. Weghorst, for me, should be nowhere near a Man United shirt, but he plays him every single week, and he's doing a job for him. Out of possession, they go and get the ball back. Because of him, he triggers it. So he's a component amongst the group. You know, they're not all, it's not... You look at Sir Alex Ferguson's sides, what he built throughout the years. There wasn't all superstars. There was journeymen in there. There was academy boys in there. He needed that mixture to make the group fantastic. And I think at the moment, right, he's absolutely right. Ten Hag needs all the credit in the world. He's done a magnificent job, and I think this is just the start. I think they're in the title race. I really do. I don't think they'll win it over Man City. But I think they're in it, and certainly they're in the rest of the competitions. And you give them every chance.
Weghorst, I think, is a really interesting one, because we know, I know you said it's not a team of superstars, but you mean in terms of like nobody's kind of trying to shine any brighter than anyone else. But we know who the best players are at Manchester United. And technically, he wouldn't be one of them, Weghorst. But the analogy that's been used is that he's a placeholder. As Tim says, Erik ten Hag knows how he wants to play. He's got someone in there who, for now, can do that role for him while he gets someone who's maybe at a technical level of the other players.
Well, what that does is like we're saying, what we kind of mentioned about with Graham Potter, is using a player that everybody doesn't feel like, well, he's using exactly what he needs right now. Yeah. And like you look at Weghorst, I watched him against Leeds. He played him in the 10. You know, he dropped up. Rashford went up the front. He played him in the 10. You're thinking, what's it? Bam! And it was perfect. Yeah. The way he moves the players, even his substitutions. Everybody comes on and makes a difference, contributes something to it. And the thing is with the fans, why the fans gave him the loudest cheers, is because he's come in, and they've seen change what he's trying to do without the noise what's going on, and he's done it slowly. You know what I mean? Even the way he dealt with the Rashford situation before, how he had to deal, like I mentioned, with the Ronaldo stuff, how he dealt with the Harry Maguire stuff. And, you know, he's just done everything really in the way he sees it and how he wants to do it. Now look at Man United. They're ready to go, aren't they? Tim, they are definitely in the race. And when you look at what Arsenal have got to do with a young side, they've got to stay up there and they've got to keep winning. Man City are... you know what I mean? They get going and if Man United continue to do what they're doing with the momentum they've got, they'll be amongst it. They'll catch people.
Right. Also, we talked about it with Chelsea. Consistency in their selections. You could pick their team now, couldn't you, Man United? You could pick Arsenal's team if everyone's fit. You know, there's no coincidence. I mean, Graham Potter needs to learn from someone like experienced manager like Ten Hag. I think he's been around, he's done it. Yes, it's a smaller environment. This is the biggest club he's ever going to manage, but he's doing a brilliant job at the moment. I can't speak highly enough of him.
In Manchester United's glory years, this wouldn't necessarily been the level of celebration for winning this particular trophy. Do you think, and sort of grouping in with that, Erik ten Hag's open letter to the Manchester United fans where he says, you know, this is great, but we are now focused. We want to get back to winning lots of different trophies, getting the players in today, not letting them celebrate fully yesterday, back on a 10 o'clock flight and then into the training ground again today. Is that all part of Manchester United using this trophy as a means to an end rather than an end in itself?
Yeah. In 2017, they used that as a springboard to winning the Europa League. And I think that's going to be the start, as the guys have been saying. I think now they feel capable of winning anything. But I think in Ten Hag, they also have a transformative manager, the one transformative manager they've had since Sir Alex Ferguson. The others did a job. I think you could argue maybe Jose went there. he still had a bit of that stardust, but it wasn't a happy ship ever. He did the job. But as far as Ten Hag's concerned, he's done the job, but the ship is happy. Players that many people had thought were not long for the exit door at Old Trafford have improved. Wan-Bissaka coming on yesterday. That's great man management as well as good tactically as well, because Dalla had been on the yellow card. Sancho now looks like the player we saw at Dortmund. Shaw is playing not only at left back, at left centre half as well.
Rashford.
There are a lot, and Rashford, I mean, he's just gone off the scale. And I think it's interesting because it's 7 years ago, the weekend just gone, since he made his debut against Midtjylland. And when you look at what he's been through, and the fact that lots of people last summer were saying that he should be sold, and if PSG wanted big money, they should accept it. And yet he's made all those people eat their words. Absolutely. And he's still only 24 years of age. He could now be anything he wants to be in the game. And what I think Ten Hag's also done, he said to other players outside the club, like a Harry Kane, for example, this is what you get if you come here. I've improved players, I've improved the club, I've managed the fans, I've earned respect. And I think that's quite key, actually, because at the start of the season, people calling it Erik 10 months after they lost well, exactly, Brighton and Brentford. People, especially after Brentford, people said, no, this might be too big for him. And, you know, people in my profession, I've got to be honest, you know, I saw some of the match reports on the Sunday morning and spoke to other people, and they thought...
They're saying it's too big for him.
They didn't say it was too big, they said it could be too big.
Did they say the same about Graham Potter? I don't want to go back to Graham Potter, but did they say the same thing? Because there is a bias towards the foreign managers when they come over sometimes.
You're right. I think you're right, but I do think, and there is a big feeling that had Graham Potter not been English, British, that maybe he would have had more criticism than he's had. But actually, I think you only have to look at a cross-section of the Sunday papers and the Monday papers. A lot of people are of the opinion that either Graham Potter exerts his own influence on the Chelsea team selection. Sorry, I should take that back, because I don't know as a fact that he isn't exerting his own influence, but there needs to be something from Graham Potter in terms of a statement with his next couple of games to make clear that he wants to change things around. Otherwise, people will continue to lose faith in him, whereas Ten Hag has always been his own man.
But the thing with like I say, he's got this group winning something together. I think that's the first foot on the rung in respect of the ladder for me, for Man United, because you could feel that, especially with the winners they've got World Cup winners, the multiple Champions League winners in their team, and they've got good young players who are ready to go, being coached very well. And so you're looking at it now and you're feeling to yourself, like, the way that he's just got them back, you know what I mean, back, no celebrating. That's what we do. We're Man United, we win trophies and we go again.
See, that spine. De Gea is world class. The people don't talk about Varane, right? Yesterday it was the 22nd final he's been in, and he's won 18 of them.
Wow.
That is absolutely outstanding experience. And 4 of them were Champions Leagues. You've got Casemiro in the midfield now, head and shoulders, I would argue, about any midfielder in the Premier League.
Best signing, best signing this summer.
And people said it was a huge amount of money, but when you...
Haaland?
Well, second best signing this season. Second best.
But I mean, you're a midfielder. You can assist Casemiro way better than me. But
amazing. When he first came, I thought he's just coming to Man United to fill the till up. You know, he's done everything in Real Madrid. He can't possibly have the hunger in it. So wrong. So wrong. I think when the equaliser he scored at Stamford Bridge, and you saw the way he celebrated with the Man United fans, from that moment onwards, I knew this boy was a real deal. He's incredible. He puts out fires. Any sorts of danger, he puts it out. But he can also play.
Yes.
And he drives them forward. And when they look at him in the dressing room, and it won't be just match days. I've seen characters like this before. Every single day in training, they watch him. He leaves nothing on the training field. He wants to improve. And he wants to improve people around him. You see when he's missing, when he had a few suspensions, they struggle without him. They managed to get over the line, which is encouraging for the manager. But he's so important to him. And someone coming in with that desire at his age, you have to take your hat off to him. Yes.
But that's what I find really interesting about Ten Hag in terms of his man management. So you have players like Casemiro, like Varane, who are serial winners, who are extremely self-motivated. And you have players like the other ones we've talked about, like Luke Shaw, Marcus Rashford, players who've struggled at times for confidence. You could put Harry Maguire in there, but he hasn't had quite the same rehabilitation under Ten Hag. When you look at that Manchester United team, maybe even Jadon Sancho could be in that bracket. Yeah. And those players he's managed to bring up to the confidence and drive of players like Casemiro and like, maybe it's quite the same level, but he's managing two very different personalities.
Good example.
And
Christian Eriksen's exactly that. I've seen him. I know what he does on the training pitch. He's an unbelievable. He was the biggest example to Harry Kane there could ever have been. You know, he watched him every single day, you know, working on his craft. You know, knew that if he continued to work hard, it would happen second nature on a Saturday. I just think that he's making them smile. You know, the environment what he's got there at Man United now, they're all smiling. I mean, Sancho and Rashford, for the last couple of seasons, certainly Marcus, we know he had the ability. It looked like it was a chore for playing for the biggest club in the world. And from the outside looking in, people must go, come on, mate. Do you know, it's Man United, you enjoy it, it's your hometown, you know, you come for the academy, but now he's playing like that. He plays like...
Because he's got a proper coach, man.
Exactly.
He's coaching him, and he's got over those injuries and, you know, the injuries and the form. Remember how young he is? He's 20, was he 24?
24.
Yeah.
You know, he's 24, and when you look at what he's been through up to this point, you know, it's been brilliant the way he's come back. And now, the way he's come back and he's now playing consistently, because last summer is the first one he's had where he could really focus on getting fit. He's done it with a good coach and with a team now and with players that he can look up to. Yeah. Players that have been to the mountaintop in respects of winning things and how they prepare on a daily basis at a club like United. It's like, where do you want to be? It's like, it does not surprise me he's doing what he's doing under this coach.
The one thing I think would help them to be title I do think they're title contenders. I felt that for a while, but they just need other players to step up now. He scored 14 goals in the Premier League, Marcus Rashford. No one's anywhere near him in terms of scoring goals. You can't win a league if that's not the case.
Yeah, and that's why it's going to be so fascinating to see what happens with him. And maybe one of the lessons that Chelsea can take is that ability to bring in experience so you maintain and improve your position while still developing the younger players in the level below that.
Yeah, the kids can only be as good as the teachers around them. And it's not only the coaches and the management, it's also, it helps better if you've got someone on the pitch with you, you know, and telling them. And if you can look at their careers and what they've actually achieved and loading up the trophy cabinet like Casemiro has.
But they've got that.
That's all you need.
But, like, Mendy's won the Champions League for them, right?
That.
Mendy can't get a game because Kepa's playing. Koulibaly is an experienced player, but in the Premier League, he actually prefers Badiashile and Silva. So Koulibaly's actually third choice, and yet he's one of the highest-rated central defenders
in the world.
In the world. And, of course, we talked already about Aubameyang, who's on the bench, when actually you need his experience on the pitch in moments like this. So they're the difference between the two sides. And Chelsea are on an upward... Sorry, United are on an upward curve, and Chelsea, I think they haven't even reached rock bottom yet. I think it's going to get worse.
News for football anywhere in the world. Old Trafford in Manchester. I'm Derek Ray, and joining me here on the commentary box is Lee Dixon. And very much looking forward to bringing you action from the Premier League. It is Manchester United up against Newcastle United.
Yeah, thank you, Derek. Looking forward to today. Should be in for a good game. Let's hope we see a quick start from both teams, set the tempo for the rest of the match.
Well, goal kick, just as it was looking promising. Well, he's a player who just seems to get better and better. I'm talking, of course, about Bruno Fernandes. Lee, what do you think we'll see from him in this game?
Well, when you're playing against a player, sometimes you're trying to look at what his qualities are. Is he a good hold-up player? Is he quick? Is he this? Is he that? But when somebody tells you he's a finisher, you know you're in big trouble.
A real defensive commitment there. Tremendous ball played through. Rashford with possibilities. It's got to be. There it is, the opening goal of this match, and what a start they've made.
Well, here it is again. It's all about the pace in transition. They were so quick to get out from the back, and he composes himself, coolly slides it past a lonely keeper, who will be asking questions about where his back four went to.
So back underway in this game, Manchester United with the advantage. Joe Willock. Saint-Maximin. Really good attacking play. Almiron. Wanted to keep it but couldn't. Well, beaten easily here. A chance to whip it in. And he read it well defensively. He's got the right idea with that pass. Well, that is a moment he would like to airbrush from history.
Well, he's had an absolute nightmare there. The goal's in front of him. Just hit it.
Saint-Maximin. Kieran Clark. Shelvey. Saint-Maximin.